Hello everybody, happy Monday, another Monday in the Jeff kitchen. I'm not in my kitchen, so I'm going to do my best to make all of this happen. But I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It was a crazy week for us as South Africans, especially KZN last week. So I hope that you've all just spent some time relaxing and catching up and recovering after everything. But one way to do that is to fuel yourself correctly. And it's been really cold, especially in Cape Town. I don't know about the rest of the country. So winter snacks is on our Meal Prep Monday Jeff Ed today. And I know what it's like. When it's cold, you just want to eat and eat and eat to warm yourselves up. So I've got two things today. One's super simple. I'm going to just pop it in the air fryer. And then the other one, which we do have a recipe for already, but I've kind of tweaked it a little bit just to make it more substantial so that it can serve as a snack. So let me know who's here, and then we can just say hello, and I'll give it 2 minutes before we get started with the actual cooking. But everybody knows about crispy chickpeas. That's been there, done that many times, and so simple to pop them in the air fryer. So I'm going to do crispy air fried butter beans. Great source of plant protein, high fiber, good carbs, and just so different. And they're literally like buttered popcorn. That's what they remind me of, because they get this crispy outer skin, and then with a little bit of salt, they're like salty, buttery popcorn. So a really good snack. And because they'll be nice and warm out the air fryer, it's something that you'll actually want to eat in winter. So who have we got? Larissa, Karen, Carla, Claire. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. So that was crispy butter beans that we're going to do in the air fryer just while we're doing everything else, and super simple and quick to do. I think the tuna butter bean salad that's on the Jeff Webb app actually uses crispy butter beans. So you could use these as a snack or throw them into a salad for a different texture. And then we're going to do eggnog. There is a Jeff Nog recipe that we put out at Christmas time. So I've just changed it a little bit to, obviously the eggs are going to give you some protein, but then eggnog has lots of cream in it, and that's what makes it so delicious. So I thought, how can I still make it nice and creamy? So I've cooked some oats. They look a bit sad now because they've been standing here, but cooked oats, when you blend them in the NutriBullet or with a stick blender, it adds such a nice creaminess to your eggnog, and then you get some carbs, so for your starch portion, and then the egg will give you some protein, obviously. So there's a protein and a starch in one glass of eggnog, and it's going to warm you up from the inside out and keep you full throughout the day. So a really good snack. And then obviously winter spices like cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves. And you can play around with spices. I think that's something to keep in mind for winter snacks, is it doesn't necessarily have to be something actually that's warm. Just use warming spices. So make a hummus with harissa to flavor it, but then that harissa spice is just going to warm you up while you're eating it. Who've we got? Anarine, Pat Govender, Verena, and Candace is with us. So I'm going to get started on the butter beans. So these are just tinned butter beans that I've drained. And then you're just going to, oh, Leechy's coming to say hello, and he's not supposed to be in the kitchen. I even put up a barricade, but he's found his way over it. How'd you go? Thank you. Okay, so a little drizzle of olive oil over the butter beans. It'll just help them go crispy, but you can leave the olive oil off altogether. And then whatever spices you want. So smoked paprika would work really well, some cumin, or just keep it simple with some salt. I think I'm going to go with smoked paprika because that'll be nice and warming. So just sprinkle some of that on. I think this one's almost finished actually. And then some salt. You could try this with any kind of bean actually. Any tinned bean. Or just do chickpeas, because you can't go wrong with some crispy chickpeas. I've done some cinnamon crispy chickpeas in the air fryer. Or you can also, if you want to be a little bit naughty, make them crispy and then melt some dark chocolate and coat them in dark chocolate and then make little clusters of dark chocolate chickpeas. Those are delicious too, but a good healthy snack, better than eating a bar one. Okay, so that's done. My butter beans with smoked paprika and salt and a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm just going to pop them in the air fryer crisp up while we do the rest. Okay, I just put my air fryer on high heat and I just keep checking them. Probably not the best way to do it, but you'll know your individual air fryers and what settings they work the best on. Okay, then for our eggnog, see if I can split myself between that screen and this camera. So first an egg into a bowl, and you can cook extra oats when you make your morning breakfast, or just get some on the go for now. While you are doing everything else. Okay, so I've got one egg, and just whisk that until it's all mixed. And obviously we're leaving out the alcohol from this eggnog, but if you wanted to make a healthier version, well, healthier, but then still put something naughty in it for the weekend, this would be a good option. Then I've got some coconut sugar. You can use regular sugar, you can use honey. I just had this at home and it gives it a nice caramel flavor. So completely up to you what you want to use. So then just give that a whisk until it's a little bit fluffy, but not critical. Just want the sugar to dissolve a little bit in the egg. It also gives it a nice amber color compared to usual eggnog. Okay, so that's done. Then in a pot on the stove, you're going to put some milk. So I've got cow's milk. If you want to use almond milk, that's cool, but then you're going to be a little bit lower in protein, so you could supplement with some protein powder. So 1 cup of cow's milk, and then if you need to add any extra milk, then maybe use some almond milk just to loosen it, but then without adding extra protein. Callie, yes, I will post the recipe. So milk in a pot. Let's get that on the go. And then I've got some nutmeg. So I had whole nutmeg that I just grated. That's quite a lot. But when I tested this, it actually needed a bit more spice. So I'm going to use all of that. And then about 5 whole cloves. Or you can use ground cloves if that's all you've got. So pop those in. And then about a teaspoon of cinnamon as well. All nice winter flavors. We just need some snow. But actually it has been snowing, hasn't it? So you could make some eggnog in a flask and then take it to go and visit the snow somewhere near you. And that would be such a good treat to have when it's really cold. Okay. So now we just have to wait for that to simmer, basically just below boiling point. You don't want it too hot because you're going to pour the hot milk mixture into the eggs and you don't want to make scrambled eggs. So hopefully that won't take too long to heat up. And then just 25 grams of oats that I just cooked in water and a little bit of salt, and those are ready to go. When we have heated the milk, we're going to pour it really slowly into the eggs and whisk, whisk, whisk as you're doing it so that you don't make scrambled eggs. And then we're going to fish out the cloves because we don't want to blend those up. Then we'll add the oats and then into the NutriBullet to blitz it up really smooth. You won't even know that they're there. But I quite liked having the little bitties into it. You can always strain it in a colander to make it extra velvety and smooth. And then back into the pot just to thicken, to cook the eggs. The eggs will mostly have cooked from the warm milk, but you can just cook them a little bit more and thicken the mixture in the pot and then serve it. And it's such a good snack because it's your protein and starch all in one. If you don't want to use cow's milk, use almond milk or use any other milk that you want to. And if you don't want the starch portion, then you could just leave out the oats because the eggs are going to thicken the mixture anyway and it will just be slightly less creamy. Who else has arrived? Let's just say hello. Natalie. chickpeas and chocolate, yes. So you can get them ready-made at Wellness Warehouse, but it's fun to do it yourself, get the kids involved. And then I just put it on a sheet of baking paper in the fridge to set, and then you've got these little crispy chickpea chocolate clusters. Michelle says hello from a chilly Joburg. Cool. So I'm going to have a peek at these butter beans. Oh, they've already started popping. It looks so cool. Let me show you one. Can you see? Where's my camera? Wrong way. The skin kind of blisters off and goes all crispy, and then the inside is really warm and buttery. They're so good. So I'm going to make a salad with those today. And then our milk is getting there slowly. So other things that you could do for winter snacks. You could roast some cherry tomatoes and then a little bit of honey, a little bit of lemon zest, and then take some yogurt and heat it really gently in a pot because you don't want to split the yogurt. And then you put your warm yogurt in a plate, grate over some more lemon zest, top it with your slow roasted balsamic-y tomatoes, and then use that as a dip. So get some veggies and scoop that up. Or what about like a baba ganoush type of a dip? That's a nice warm dip. And your veggies don't have to be raw. You could do roasted veggies and have those as a snack. What else? I'm experimenting with like a milk course kind of a recipe, you know, that traditional Afrikaans thing. It reminds me of Res at Stellenbosch, but using oat flour instead of regular flour, and then honey for sweetness. So as soon as I've got that tried and tested, then I'll post it. Okay, so this was a beaten egg with some coconut sugar, and check the nice deep color that the coconut sugar gave it, but you can use honey or regular sugar, completely up to you. Take those things out of my camera. Okay, my milk is starting to steam, so we're getting there. And so that was a cup of milk with some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and some whole cloves. The slower you can do this, the better, because then all of the spices have time to really infuse into the milk. Oh my beans. Stop there. Okay. Do you guys have any go-to snacks that you've been eating this winter? Because I know when it's cold, the last thing you feel like is biting into an apple. So it's nice to have some heartwarming things. You could always stew some fruit, and then even though you'll be having it with cold yogurt or something like that, at least you've got lovely cinnamony warm apples to eat in the morning. Roasted aubergine with garlic is an awesome dip. Yeah, that sounds delicious. And especially if it came straight off the fire into a blender and then it was nice and smoky and warm. I think that would do a good job at warming us. Okay, so let me try and fish out these cloves before I forget about them. Always count how many you put in so that you know how many you need to take out. I think I put 5. What's that? 1, 2, 3. Find 2 more. You can always put them back in again when you're thickening the mixture. But because this is going to go into the NutriBullet, I don't want to blend them all up. So maybe you could put some whole cloves once this goes into the NutriBullet. Okay, cloves out. Then, I'll come this side so that you can see. Baked apple in the air fryer with yogurt and cinnamon. Yum! Sounds so good. Okay, so warm milk, you're going to pour really slowly, bit by bit, while stirring the eggs the whole time, because you want to bring the eggs to the same temperature as the milk. Otherwise, you're going to cook them. Oh, I saw another clove go in there. Okay. And it will probably already start to thicken. as soon as that warm milk hits the eggs. Okay, and then I'm going to put the oats in. Gone a little bit hard. So that was just 25 grams of oats cooked in some water with a little bit of salt. Okay. Give that a little bit of a mix, but you can always... Oh my word, there's another clove. I must have put... Definitely didn't count very well. It's all going to get blended as soon as you pop it in the air fryer. I mean, in the NutriBullet. Okay, so that going into the NutriBullet. And it's warm, so be careful. Don't blend it for too long. I would stop it just to relieve some of the steam. Okay. Blend. So quick, and it smells like Christmas. Okay, this is going back into the pot just to thicken, which will take probably 2 minutes. How long do you bake it for? Are these the butter beans that you're referring to? What would you say? They've been in there for probably 7 minutes now, but you'll just have to judge your air fryer and or if you're using an oven, just keep checking on them and they'll go nice and crispy and golden and the skin will blister. I'll show you as soon as I think these ones are done. Okay, that's already looking thicker and it'll get nice and foamy on the top. We could do a warm smoothie, which might be something to get used to, but so some pumpkin, like maybe take the pumpkin pie smoothie that's on the web app and put that into a pot to warm up once you've blended it. And then you've got warm pumpkin pie smoothie that's giving you all your portions, so then it could be a meal and not just a snack. But this is basically like a warm, cinnamony, eggy smoothie. But you won't taste the eggs once they're cooked. Keep stirring this constantly because if it sits on the bottom, then it's also going to make scrambled eggs. Okay, I'm just going to take it off while I show you the butter beans. They look so good. Okay. So, smoked paprika crispy butter beans, and they're all popped and blistered and delicious, like salty buttery popcorn. So be careful with these. I'm sure it will be very easy to sit there and snack on them the whole day, but yeah, about 75 grams of those as a protein snack that's also going to give you carbs. So let's leave those there and then pop them in your salads to just give a different texture to your meal. Okay, and then just finish this eggnog, which really didn't take much time at all, especially if you can bulk cook some extra oats in the morning with your breakfast and then just add it to this later in the day for a nice warming snack. Okay, I'd say that's thick enough. If yours gets too thick for whatever reason, then just add a little bit of unsweetened almond milk to loosen it up. But I think this is nice. Okay, I'm going to just pour it back into here to make it easier to pour into a glass. Okay. Mug. And a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top just to be fancy. And there you have it. Some nice warm eggnog for a cold winter's day. Should I taste it? All the spices. It's like drinking custard, basically. It's a nice runny custard, cinnamon and nutmeg. So delicious. And that's going to warm you up, fill your tummy nicely to get you from lunch to the afternoon, or lunch to dinner time. So I hope that those will get you through what remains of our winter, but we are getting closer and closer to summer. So use all of these to fuel appropriately, because summer bodies are made in winter. No, we just want to live balanced lives all the time. So these are ways that you can do that, healthier alternatives to what's out there. So experiment and play in the kitchen. Try all of these things in the comments. The baked apple in the air fryer sounds amazing. That'll be really nice on a cold winter's morning. Noel's convinced drinking custard. Yeah, it's so yum. And who doesn't love Christmas? And this is Christmas in July. So if you try these, let me know. I'll post the recipe as soon as we're done here, because it is ready to go. And I'd love to see what you guys come up with in the kitchen. So have a wonderful Monday, and we will see you during the week. I think I'm doing the cook with Adrian on Wednesday. So that's also another warming winter green bowl that we're going to do on Wednesday. So we'll see you there, and have a great day. Bye.